Jack would never cease to be amazed by the sights, smells and sounds of the station as they made their way to the Temple of Hope. Though he had passed through many of the districts on his way from the temple to the school, what stood out to him the most was just how bizarre they were. There was the district solely dedicated to artificial hot springs that she seemed very keen to bring Jack to at a later date, to a district that seemed to be a nature reserve or zoo of some kind for a herd of small, eight-legged green furry creatures that skittered around, unafraid of the traffic passing through under the watchful eyes of their green warden guardians. Though when Nika tried speaking to them about any possible jobs, they politely declined. Several other districts had unfortunately locked down early in preparation for conflict, having heard about the school's prediction algorithms. When Jack asked Alora about it, she was just as confused as he was, having had no reason to suspect anything was afoot, and believing the gang activity to be in a slump. Whatever incoming danger the school had detected was a highly unusual spike, so everyone agreed not to hang around outside for too long after dark. The forced diversions did, however, open Jack up to new places. They cut through a small district around a crowd, placing bets on what suspiciously looked like professional wrestling, dodged a district occupied by several giants, and when they got through the red light district, Alora was very keen on moving quickly along. "Hey, Jack!" The group was suddenly snapped to attention. They had been walking through a peaceful district that reminded Jack of some kind of food court, with cushions and tables filled with groups enjoying drinks. Most of the buildings were densely packed around the perimeter, though there were a few smaller huts dotted strategically amongst the seating areas, where ratfolk waiters would come and go. It was in fact one of these that had called out to them. "Hey, Critch," Jack called back with a smile, crossing his fingers that he remembered his classmate's name correctly. "How are you? You work here?" "Great, thanks." The rat dude, Jack would research his species name later, replied enthusiastically, appearing starstruck that Jack would even ask. "And yeah, you could say that. My clan claims this district, and we operate a rest stop and tea garden for travellers, as you can see. I'm just doing my part while the others set up the defences for tonight. We have a lot of people passing through, but I can find you guys some seats." Jack turned to the others with the unspoken question. He was up for a quick stop on the way to the temple, and it seemed rude not to. "We'd love to, Critch. May we have a menu?" Alora replied with a smile. "Well, that settled it then." "Did you say you were setting up defences for tonight?" Jack asked, concerned. "Do you need help?" Critch gave a quick laugh and waved his hand to dismiss the concern. "Well, I'd be totally cool with having a confirmed badass on our side. The elders won't allow it. If we can't fight and successfully defend our territory, it isn't our territory. We've hired mercenaries before, but good ones are too pricey. My clan is determined to prove we can stand on our own 2 feet and protect our charges that choose to seek respite here. Anyway, enough about that. What drinks would you like?" "And here you go. Sorry about the wait." Critch kept up his smile as he brought the tray down with their drinks. "Oh, no need," he spoke up to Alora, who was getting some money. "This round is on the house. We just hope you visit again and recommend us to your friends." He passed the drinks around with a smile. Alora and Chia with green-looking herbal teas, Nika with something red with something sprinkled on top, and Sephi rapidly enjoying her purple concoction she requested be as sweet as possible. Jack, not knowing what any of the available drinks were described, had described the usual tea he would have back on Earth, trusting Critch to pick something suitable. On taking a sip, Jack closed his eyes and savoured the flavour. It tasted almost exactly the same as the tea he liked from Earth. He was glad the others were focused on their own drinks, so they didn't see the single tear that had managed to escape down his cheek, despite his desperation to hold it together. God, he missed home. At least now he has some direction. An oracle of some kind, though he would speak to the people he knew about the temple first, before planning anything. He was suddenly snapped out of his thoughts when he noticed Sephi staring at something on the wall of one of the huts, though she was trying her best to hide it. It was some kind of marking. 3 circles like a Venn diagram with 2 parallel lines. It looked like normal graffiti to Jack, though by Sephi's reaction, it clearly meant something more. She gave Jack a deer-in-the-headlights look when she noticed he was staring at the same thing, before she suddenly brought a single finger to her lips to shush him. Interesting. He'd have to add that to the list of things to talk about. "So, Jack, what did Mr. Sparrow keep you back for?" Nika carefully asked, as Jack now gave his surprised expression. "It's okay if you don't want to talk about it, but you've appeared more withdrawn than usual. Anything wrong?" That put Jack on the spot. He hadn't planned on saying anything about it yet. His plan was to check the route and go on his own, perhaps confiding privately to one or two of his new friends. Nothing much, just gave me some... Jack stopped mid-sentence, looking at his attentive friends. No. Lying to them would be shitty. All of them had gone above and beyond to welcome him and have his back. It was only fair he confided in them properly. Well, alright, Jack began, tentative with his words. He was curious about what I am and why I'm here, and gave me the coordinates of someone that can possibly provide some answers, that's all. I was going to go there sometime during the weekend once I find out how. Alone? Well, yeah, Jack replied, feeling a little guilty. It's my mess, so I've got to fix it. I can't ask you to get involved, so that's why I didn't mention it. Hey! Seffi gave Jack a quick shove. You don't have to do everything on your own. You probably don't know the way anyway. Besides, we're pretty curious about it too. Seffi! Nika chatted her friend, but addressed the whole group. Jack's affairs are his own business, but going alone in unfamiliar territory is suicide, even for strong combatants. Like I told you before, I have your back, she finished, looking Jack in the eye. You've seen how dangerous things can be firsthand. Please, let us look out for one another. Chia was giving Jack her best puppy eyes on showing him her message. Alright, Jack replied with finality. I won't force you to come along, but I welcome the company. He sent the coordinates to my comp link, so... Got them, Seffi grinned. Your device is safe to mine after all. Yup, they're pretty far out. Trip there and back is probably a day or two, though we can probably hitch a ride once we're further out of the city. We go the day after tomorrow then, Allura decided. We can recover from tonight, get most of our affairs done tomorrow. That still leaves the issue of funds, Nika brought up. Once we plan the route, I'll see if there's anything interesting along the way we can take advantage of, or if there's any bounties. Usually the indie herbalists and collectors have some kind of long-term arrangement going on. Alright, that sounds like a plan, Allura chirped. Now let's finish our drinks and move on already. We can plan while we walk. The Temple of Hope was always an impressive sight to Jack. A marvel of architecture encompassing several districts, it was a true testament to what people could do when they all came together to work towards a common goal. Many faiths that encouraged unity and cooperation had some kind of hall or shrine within its walls, though apparently this was sadly a small proportion of the total known gods worshipped among the cosmos. Though Jack had pretty much lived at the temple since he arrived, the group still needed one of the guide droids to direct them to the places they wanted to go. Allura, Nika, Seffi and Chio decided to pay homage to several of the gods they worshipped while they were here, and meet up at a designated point once they were done. So Jack was on his own as he was led by one of the droids to the Abbey of Astara. Jack, good to see you. One of the dolphin-looking brothers on duty gently called out to him as they arrived. How was school? Did you behave yourself, or did it turn to chaos after I left you there? A little bit of both, Brother Argonius, Jack replied with a nervous smile. But you were right. I think I'm going to be alright for now. I just wanted to check in and let you know. Is High Priestess Cornelia around? Argonius smiled. She is indeed. Diligent as ever, though sadly not many excuses to get out into the field. She's meeting with some dignitaries at the moment, but I will let her know you've arrived. She'll have my head if I didn't give her the chance to check on you herself. Jack smiled. That sounds like her. Thank you, brother. Patting Jack on the shoulder like a favourite uncle, Argonius gave a soft smile before leaving Jack alone at the shrine. Sighing in nervous anticipation, Jack sat down at one of the front pews, gazing up at the statue of Astara. The white marble depicted a mysterious, hooded female figure holding a sword, or reaching to the ground as if to help someone up. It looked rather heroic, but then again, it was the job of the artist to make her look badass. After another few minutes of waiting, Jack decided, fuck it. It went against his upbringing, but it felt right to offer a prayer. Kneeling down on the central cushion facing the altar, Jack closed his eyes and tried to think of the right words. Sorry to disturb you, ma'am, Jack began, but this is a little overdue. Hell, I don't even know if you can hear me, considering humans don't belong here, but it can't hurt to try. Just wanted to say thanks again for your paladins rescuing me. I held up pretty well, but I doubt I would have survived much longer without the assist, so thanks for that. High Priestess Cornelia was right about going to live with Allura and other people my age. Though I've only known them basically a day, they've been good to me, and I hope to return the favour. Actually, that's kind of why I'm here. Could you watch out for them? I'll certainly try my best, but I have no idea what to expect, so I'd be grateful for it. It's a big ask, I know, and I'll try my best to make it up to you however I can. Don't worry about me, though. I'm not worth it. Thanks. He finished his impromptu prayer as he heard some shuffling to the side. Opening his eyes, he saw a short being, about 4 feet tall, covered in short, thick brown fur that was visibly turning grey with age. The wolf-like being smiled at Jack and spread her arms wide to give him a quick hug.
Jack, it's good to see you still in one piece. Brother Arguinius tells me you seem to be in better spirits even.
I think I'm a bit better, High Priestess. I just wanted to check in with you guys.
High Priestess? Bah!
Cornelia laughed dryly.
I'm still a paladin in spirit, but the damn codgers think I'm too old to go out into the field again. Haven't had the chance since you got here, and apparently I have duties to perform. Do I fuck?
Jack chuckled at the ever-complaining High Priestess. He'd only ever seen her perform her job to the best of her ability, but it was clear her heart wasn't into it. Surely as the High Priestess, you could just do what you want, Jack replied cautiously.
Not with bishops and cardinals coming by for visits, and crawling so far up my ass not even a cackers I could yank the whap-whip bastards out. They say I'm meant to keep up appearances and be a guiding hand for the young within the temple, while not letting my guiding hand wipe the ass of the station from time to time.
She sighed deeply.
At least I get to see my grandchildren more often.
I didn't know you had grandkids, Jack replied, soothing, trying to pull High Priestess Cornelia out of what was clearly a sore topic for her.
She snorted. That and more. My triplet great-great-grandkids just turned 1, and their parents run a security contracting company on Hive Station Fracture. Much more exciting than here, and they have their lives sorted out. They certainly don't need me. But the people out there in this hive certainly do. She looked up at the statue. Star willing I'll die in the name of the greater good saving others, not tucked away out of sight.
She smiled at Jack and motioned for him to follow her.
Sorry to lay that on you. The tea must be getting cold by now.
How was it? Laura asked him, when he finally joined the others at their meeting point. It was good. I needed that, and it was good to let them know I'm alright. I wasn't too long, was I? No, you arrived just after Chio, Sevi spoke quickly, but we should probably hurry up and get... Whatever Sevi was about to suggest was cut short, as Cornelia appeared behind him, her eyes going wide at seeing Sevi, just as Sevi gave an "oh shit" look back. Paladin Cornelia, Sevi began, her voice dry and quivering.
Sevi, is that you? I haven't seen you in ages,
Cornelia cried out, crossing the room and embracing the now confused-looking Sefi. Sefi began, trying to make sense of what was happening. I thought you and the other clergy told me that you didn't want to see me again after...
Oh, piss to that, Cornelia cried out. Is that why you haven't been here in so long? As a child, you stole a bag of expensive food meant for an ambassador. So what? I know you shared it among the other kids. Did you even take any for yourself?
I didn't, Sefi choked. The little ones were starving. I regret nothing. I was happy to take the fall for that, but I was surprised you said nothing.
I said everything I could. I swear it, Cornelia replied with a firm look. Taurus's followers held too much sway that day and confirmed your exile, but I could still make sure you were taken care of from afar.
That was you, huh? Sefi looked conflicted, as she broke off and moved towards the door. Enough credits to get me started? Contact details of those that could help? Even my favourite blanket? She hardened her face as she turned her back before walking away. But that was never what I truly needed. Come on, guys. Let's go. Chio quickly floated off the Sefi to comfort her, followed shortly by Nika, who rushed after the pair. She'll come around, Laura replied gently to the High Priestess, who just nodded.
I hope so. I'm just glad she's still alive. You never really mentioned her, so I guess she wanted it that way. Well, time is usually the best medicine in these scenarios. At least she knows she can come back.
Cornelia sighed and patted Laura and Jack on the shoulders.
Well, it was good to see you both. I'll go catch up to your friends.
The way back was more subdued than before, with the usually enthusiastic Sefi staying quiet at the back, while the others tried unsuccessfully to raise her spirits. Even the atmosphere around them had gotten more grim, with residents and shop owners boarding up, in preparation for the night. Several times they were accosted by militia groups desperate to add to their numbers, but each time Alora politely declined. We're good for the night, right? Jack asked Nika nervously, as they passed yet another makeshift checkpoint manned by a nervous-looking squad of young-looking plant people. We should be. We're very out the way. We have a lot of protection set up, she replied, not sounding 100% certain. We don't know the nature of the attack, of course, but we can quickly set up Overwatch if it bursts into our part of town. Of course, the attack might be nothing, a small skirmish between gangs.
Not likely. The school only mentions it if it's likely to be big,
Tshirt replied to Nika, who relayed what she said to the rest of the group. Well, we are reasonably prepared in any case. Plus we have guests staying over that can help, Allura chimed in, as they made way for a squad doing a quick warm-up. Luvia alone would probably be able to warn them off. I'm guessing we're going to have more people than usual, Nika replied with a slight grin towards Jack, and not just a party and Sync Sanctuary from tonight. They carried on with small talk as Jack fell to the back of the group in thought. Hey, don't worry. It's not normally this bad. Sevi spoke up next to him, staying quiet so the others couldn't hear. The battles tonight, I mean. Usually people have a better idea of what's going to happen rather than just responding in general to a prediction algorithm. I was thinking more about the party, to be honest. That got a genuine sort of amusement from the Skritter. Well, you won't be short of attention. A few of our friends are coming and specifically asked if you will be around, so it should be a fun night for you. The conversation lulled for several minutes as they both tried to work out what to say next. It was only when Jack spotted something familiar looking scratched on a nearby wall was he reminded of something. Hey, Sephi? Jack began. I was wondering why I flipped out in the temple? Sephi replied, a look of hurt on her face that Jack would bring it up so soon. No, it wasn't that. Remember that graffiti at Critch's place? I saw another one back there. What's up with that? Sephi seemed to look a little confused at first, that Jack didn't want to talk about the temple, but eventually smiled and nodded. Don't mention it out loud, but I'm pretty sure they're shadow glyphs, she whispered to him conspiratorially. Secret messages to others in the know. Like a thieves' guild? Jack asked with interest, keeping his voice low. Nobody I've spoken to knows for sure. Some thieves and other rogues, yes, but as far as I understand, it's more often than not for information brokers and their webs of spies. I've been trying to decipher what they mean for as long as I've known about them. What about the one in the tea garden? You seem pretty shook up about it. It was just 3 circles and 2 parallel lines, or something like that. I've not actually seen that one before. Sephi pursed her lips in thought. I know crosses are used to indicate possible marks, and I think circles are usually some kind of safe or protected zone. No idea why there were 3 of them there like that, or what the lines mean, though. Still, one step closer, though. Jack smiled, as he gave Sephi a friendly nudge, trying to make her feel better. What do you do when you crack the code? Sephi grinned. I have no idea. The thrill for me is the chase. Computer slices everywhere would pay a lot for that info, so I guess that worth couldn't hurt. It's not like I have many employment prospects, academically speaking. Chio told me you were good at coding and creative writing, Jack pried. Surely you could make something out of that. Sephi laughed. I do. Slicing into old systems to give me access and spinning a lie to security tends to be pretty useful to a kleptomaniac like me. They both chuckled at that, as they saw the home district in the distance. Right, Allura spoke up. We're going to have to order some food and drink before the shooting starts. How many more crates of wine should we get?